Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. I hope you're all having a wonderful day today. So today's video is going to be about one of my favorite niche perfume houses, Parfums Dusita. So I'll give you a rough idea of what type of niche house Dusita is. So the founder and perfumer of this house is Issara, who always had a passion for fragrances while growing up. She focuses her creations on her late father's poetry, so his poetry is the inspiration behind all of her fragrances. She eventually opened up her dream boutique in Paris, and when she's not away traveling, you can find her there. Not only is she a beautiful, charismatic, and kind-hearted soul, but she's also an incredibly talented artist. Parfums Dusita launched in 2015, and she has since won an Arts and Olfaction Award in 2017 for one of my favorite ones from the line, Melodie De L'amour. Also, Erawan won the Fifi Award in 2018, and just recently her newest fragrance, Le Pavillon D'or, won the Niche Customer Choice Award for the Fifi ceremony in Russia. So congratulations, Issara. So as you can see, Dusita was built on love, passion, and art. This is exactly what I perceived this house to be. Her fragrances are classy, inspiring, and made with love and passion. Her fragrances are not rushed whatsoever. They're carefully and masterfully blended and then presented in a luxurious and elegant packaging, along with a poem that inspired the fragrance. So you get quality, refinement, and sophistication from this house, and that's why I love this house so much. So I'm going to start with Douceur De Siam. This fragrance is a rose lover's dream. If I had to describe it in one word, I would definitely say it's charming. It just lifts your mood in a way that as soon as you smell it, you become happy and you feel refreshed. It has character and charisma and is just so pretty. Not only is this fragrance focused on young and vibrant, new bloom, unripe bunch of roses, but there is also an emphasis on yellow florals. On my skin, this fragrance smells like how I would imagine a glass butterfly house would smell like if butterflies had a scent. I get the image of sweet, syrupy, zingy roses and tropical yellow flowers blooming on a Thai flower garden bed while dragonflies and pretty butterflies are buzzing around on a humid summer morning. So I just get that image whenever I smell this fragrance. In the dry down, I feel the roses mature on my skin. The once soft pastel hues of yellows and pinks, they turn more into vivid colors, such as orange, reds, and blues. I would wear this fragrance all year round, but would particularly love it in the spring months. For me, it's a daytime fragrance, one that I would wear to wake me up each morning. So instead of having that cup of coffee, I would rather wear Ladouceur De Siam each morning. Now I'm going to read the poem that was the inspiration behind this fragrance. The twilight hour comes. Even my grief is swept away by the anonymity of life. Another very pretty floral is the Fleur De Lalita. This is a vibrant, soapy, picturesque green, ambery, floral type of a fragrance. If I had to describe it in one word, I would say it's enchanting. Fleur De Lalita brings you an exotic, realistic, fresh, quality bouquet of expensive flowers. I can imagine this is how a florist in the 50s would have smelt like. Sharp, invigorating, and extremely fresh bunch of mixed buds and flowers. I also get a lot of clean musks from it and a creamy, soapy, retro vibe as well. When I smell it, I am instantly transported to a different time and place, an era that I was not even part of, but as soon as I smell it, I think of older times, you know, like it just gives me a memory that I can't really explain. It's a fragrance that feels like I've smelt before, but I haven't. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's one of those fragrances for me. It's something personal, one that I have to be in the mood for, because as I said, it's a very big, fresh, floral, musky scent, and you just have to love your florals to appreciate this fragrance. The poem that inspired this fragrance reads, Can a thing wholesome, entire, be made in a kiss, an embrace? Oh, my blindness to clutch the dividend. The next one I will talk about is one of my absolute favorites from this line. It's the Erawan. If I had to describe this fragrance in one word, I would say it's comforting. I was absolutely blown away by the beauty of this fragrance when I first tried it. It's a green, herbal, woody, vanilla type of a scent. It reminds me of a lush green, hot and humid jungle that is decorated with dark green, oversized jungle leaves, vines, moss, and pandan leaves. It's quite tropical and exotic smelling. It's like walking into the hot jungle while snacking on a creamy sticky rice Asian pudding at the same time. There is a huge dollop of vanilla blended with all of these green notes, and that's what I find so unique about it. I also get a distinctive barley, hay kind of a note from Erawan, and that's where the herbal aspect comes from. It's an extremely unique and hauntingly beautiful creation by the talented Issara. It's a comforting and easy on the nose type of a scent. It's slightly powdery on my skin with delicate sweetness and a touch of dustiness. Erawan is a favorite in the wintertime for me, as I find it warms me up like a blanket would. It just gives me the feeling of satisfaction, you know, the same sort of way I get satisfied after indulging on one of my favorite desserts. So the poem behind this fragrance reads, I did not know how I got there. I walked through an autumn wood in the twilight country. It was wonderful how I journeyed then to light. The next beauty I want to talk about is Le Sillage Blanc. This one is a piercingly sharp green herbal mossy leather fragrance. If I had to describe it in one word, I would say it's inspiring. So to me, it smells like damp soil, dry roots, and galbanum, which is an aromatic gum resin note. So the leather in this fragrance is quite fresh and clean. It's more of a good quality leather than a heavy leather jacket or a leather bag, so it's more refined. It actually, to me, it smells like the leather used in a work briefcase more than it being that harsh leather jacket type of a scent. It's an ultra green fragrance, and although I'm not much of a fan of green scents, but there is just something so special about this fragrance that I find it always draws me in. As I said, it's quite piercing and not for the faint of heart. There is an odd metallic and medicinal kind of a note about it, and I find it to be a cold fragrance. It's sharp, clean, mossy, and bitter. One of the more masculine offerings from this line. So I love wearing this one on a cold, crisp, rainy day. It just reminds me of rain and soil for some reason. And the poem behind this fragrance reads, Light fell on us, a discreet light, making its paved way through the chill and dusty air as I was reading your love. That's so beautiful. So the next fragrance I want to talk about is the beautiful Splendiris. This is an old-fashioned iris and violet retro beauty. If I had to describe it in one word, I would say it's dainty. So this one came out this year, 2019, so it's quite recent. Splendiris is a prim and proper vintage in style green powdery floral. Its main focus is on the iris, so here you have the entire iris flower, particularly the vegetal root and stem part. Because of an earthy and sort of waxy aspect to it, I don't find this fragrance to be overly powdery or to smell like makeup, as most iris and violet combinations are these days. So if you're familiar with iris and violet type of perfumes, they tend to make them smell like makeup. This one does not. It's more of a green kind of just a brighter type of a scent. So it does have a delicate sweetness about it, which is coming from the vanilla, and I can see how this touch of added vanilla has given this fragrance a fluffy and gentle type of aroma. So Splendiris gives me the feeling of floating on top of the clouds. It's a classy, elegant, and gracious type of a fragrance. Citrus also plays a nice role in this composition. It gives the scent a crisp brightness, which keeps it from ever being dull or boring. I love wearing this one in the colder months. I find the powdery aroma perfect in these types of months. Of course, you can wear it all year round, but that's when I like wearing it most. So I'll just read the poem. I write by the candlelight in a night wrapped by many layers of dreams. This poem would definitely be one of my favorites. It's so dreamy, and the fragrance itself is dreamy as well. So this next one is her newest fragrance, and it's the last of the Eau de Parfums. So all of the ones I've just spoken about were Eau de Parfums, and this one is called Le Pavillon D'or. So as I said, this is her most recent offering. This fragrance was launched this year in 2019. It just launched literally, I think, a couple of months ago. It's an easy fragrance to fall in love with. It smells yellow. It's a warm, cozy, but vibrant yellow to be exact. I get whiffs of chamomile, refreshing mint, honeysuckle, which is probably the most dominant note on my skin. I get soft powder, a hint of green leafiness from the fig, and a delicate woody base. It's such a relaxing type of a scent. It's a fragrance that will make you feel calm and collected. It has a therapeutic energy about it. I find that it smells like quality mountain tea. It's one that I love wearing while reading a book, sipping on a warm cup of tea. I prefer it in the daytime or just before bed. It's a cuddly, fuzzy kind of a fragrance. It's more of a soothing fragrance for me, so I enjoy wearing it for myself rather than a perfume I would wear so other people can smell. I would also recommend wearing it if you have a stressful job, as I can imagine that this scent will help relieve some stress or anxiety even. So it's a herbal, powdery floral that is just so easy to wear and so lovable. It's just glorious. If you have not tried this one, go try it. If you want to feel relaxed and just at home, this is the fragrance for you. I'm going to read the poem now. Will I ever have a chance to sleep by the river of love, look on the mountain of long life, and dip my vision in Sun Moon Lake, to be able to live more happily in just any confinement? Now we'll move on to the Extrait de Parfums. There are currently 3 in this line, and the first one I will talk about is the beautiful Issara. Issara is a herbal, earthy, tobacco, woody, musky scent, and if I had to describe it in one word, I would say it's refined. So Issara reminds me of spending a day in the fields. I smell hay, fresh pine, thyme, sage, coumarin, vetiver, woods, and hints of sweet tonka. It's considered to be an aromatic fougere. Now, almost every fougere fragrance has a note of lavender, but not Issara, which I found a relief as I struggle with the lavender sometimes. So Issara is a classy scent, one to enjoy at close proximity. It smells professional, sophisticated, and elegant. Definitely a great offering for someone who prefers more masculine fragrances. It's lovely to wear all year round, particularly in the colder months. The dry down of this fragrance reminds me of an expensive herbal tea. So the poem behind this fragrance is, here where the tree once stood is now a shelter from ancient rain. Now this next one I call my pretty little princess. and it's the Melodie De L'amour. And this is the fragrance I first loved from this house, and it's the one that started my passion for this particular house. Melodie De L'amour is a lush, narcotic white floral with an animalic musky base. If I had to describe it in one word, I would say it's harmonious. This fragrance took my breath away the moment I smelt it. It focuses on the fleshy and seductive tuberose flower, which is my favorite note. There is something utterly divine about it in the opening. You get a bunch of delicate and carefully chosen flowers, such as jasmine, gardenia, lily, and tuberose, resting on a tender, sweet, peachy, musky base. So it's slightly green, but focuses more on the actual flower itself and not so much the stem part. So it's a slightly milky and creamy fragrance, but overall I would describe it as a well-composed, elegant, musky white floral. I love wearing this one in spring and summer, in nights in particular, not during the day. I just find that it's such a romantic fragrance, and it just blooms nicely in the heat. It would make a perfect wedding day scent for the bride. In fact, if I could, have another wedding, I would definitely choose this fragrance to be my fragrance, to wear on my wedding day, 100%. So the poem behind this fragrance reads, "My feeling for you is like a flower blooming in an empty room." Beautiful, beautiful like this fragrance. So we've got one more to go. The last one from this collection is Would Infinii. Now I've kept this one to last on purpose. There's a reason behind it. This one is actually quite different to all of the other fragrances that I've just spoken about. So this one stands on its own. It's an Extrait de Parfum, and Melodie De L'amour was an Extrait de Parfum as well. I didn't mention that. Okay, so this beauty does not really compare to the other fragrances. As I said, it just really does stand on its own. It's a rose and oud type of a fragrance. If I had one word to describe it, I would say it's mesmerizing. Now, if you're wondering if it smells like all the other rose and oud blends out there that have been done to death, no, it does not even close. This fragrance is the real deal when it comes to authentic smelling oud. It's sultry and it's powerful. I grew up actually smelling quality oud that has aged for years on my dad. So he used to punish us, I should say, with wearing these oud oils, these aged oud oils that we all hated smelling so much as kids. He used to wear the pure oud oil on its own. He never used to mix it with anything else. So I'm quite familiar with that type of scent. And I remember that it used to smell like he had just stepped in a pile of fresh poop. But amazingly enough, this is how you know you have some good oud on your hands. So if it smells poopy or rotten or something like that, it's good. It's actually very good. Now, Would Infinii has that type of oud, the animalic one that a lot of Westerners are not yet accustomed to. So it opens up being dramatic and in your face. You are going to smell civet mixed with aged oud blended with orange blossoms. So these three notes in particular can create quite an animalic shock to your system. So be prepared for some deep, rich and heavy skunk. This is an animalic fragrance at the beginning, so it does change. So if you're not into that, you have to just wait until that stage passes, and then you're left with the most glorious concoction of rosy, musky, slightly powdery, woody scent. Would Infinii starts off being unapologetic to your nose if you are not too keen on oud, and then dries down to the most remarkable cloud of alluring, enigmatic, and spectacular creation. A definite must for all lovers of majestic smelling rose and oud combinations. It is to die for. I think this is a great fragrance to wear in the evenings, in the colder months. A little goes a long way with this one. I do have to be in the mood for it. I don't find that I can casually wear it on a daily basis. It definitely is a special one. Now, the poem behind this fragrance reads, "Dawn in the sky. A tiny stream of gold flows and expands, imperceptibly, until it covers the whole sky and turns itself into silver." Now, before I finish this video, I'm going to show you the packaging. So this packaging is for the Eau de Parfum. You get the poem on the box. This is for the 50 ml bottle. And then the perfume bottle sits in there. So they're very classy boxes. And for the Extrait de Parfum, they do come in different boxes. So the packaging on the outer box is the same, but you don't get the poem. And also, the box is quite different. It's a glossy type of a box, and you open it up and the bottle sits inside of here. And I'll also show you the packaging for the 7.5 ml travel sprays, because all of these fragrances come in this size as well, which is awesome if you're traveling or if you just want to keep it in your handbag. So they all come like this. With some of Issara's artwork, and as you can see, the poem is here. And it's a spray bottle. So it's a 7.5 ml. As I said, they all come in this size, which is awesome. I will leave the link where you can purchase these fragrances from in the description box, and I will also leave prices and things like that. You can actually purchase these fragrances from the Dusita website. She does do international shipping, so that is awesome. So look how beautiful they look all together as a nice little family. Gorgeous stuff here, guys. If you have not checked out this house, go and check it. Let me know your thoughts on these fragrances. Have you tried them? Which one do you think you'll try? Yeah. Let me know your favorites as well. Let's see if your favorites are my favorites. Until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of the week. Bye.